Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're going to be talking about Oketra, the token maker, because that's kind of the route I went with it. She can't attack or block unless you got three other creatures. Now, granted, she does make dudes, make creatures. So she does kind of feed herself. I really like the gods that enable themselves. Anyway, Oketra here, I kind of went the token route with her. So first we'll do of course, the mana base, the mana. Seemed like Cage Sun was a good thing to do, doubling your mana, and +1/+1. The +1/+1 thing, I kind of went a little hardcore with it. Now, granted, keep in mind, there are a lot of cards that I would have put in here had I had, but one of the goals of making all these decks that I have, a deck for each legendary creature, is to try to use different cards. I don't want to use the same 10 cards in every deck, although, I do use a lot of Soul Rings and Planar Bridges and stuff like that, but is to try out new cards that I don't normally use. Anyway, here are my +1/+1 cards. Of course, there's the Cage Sun, Intangible Virtue, Krovax. Marshall's Anthem works to get some of your dead guys back. Of course, Glorious Anthem. Soul of Theros, if you've got some mana that don't really need. The Dictate. Love the fact that has flash. I use this as a combat trick. Call for Unity, because you're going to have creatures that die. I mean, tokens are going to die, especially in the early game. And every turn you got, some that just gets another counter. Hall of Triumph, Divine Sacrament. It's good early, it's good late. Now, I want y'all to remember starting here. These next few cards are going to, is what I wanted really to combo with Blade of Selves. Now, Paragon of the New Dawn. Blade of Selves, wow. If you're in a 5-6 player game, a bunch of copies of this guy comes out, it immediately impacts that combat. Since we are going the token route, we're gonna want to freaking focus now. Since we are going the token route, the Phantom General will kind of work the same way. So will Celestial Crusader. So will Angel of Invention. No, I'm just not real happy with that. Maybe that's a little better. The other enchantment I have, of course, is Honor the Pure. Now, to keep going with cards that will really go well with Blade of Selves, is the creatures when they come into play that make tokens. Now, Cloud Goat Ranger, obviously Lorwyn All-Star here. Heck, this thing saw pro play. Geist Honored Monk, another good one with the Blade of Selves. Now this guy is just he's begging for the Blade of Selves. Come on now, because your tokens will stick around after the originals die. So all your Evangels will die, but the tokens that they made stick around. So it's wonderful. Now, Captain of the Watch is just so much value, especially with Blade of Selves. Love it. Anyway, I was just looking for a a home for Blade of Selves, and I think I may have found one. We're going to get to the utility, as I call it, the Elixir of Immortality. Y'all know why I'm playing with that. Now, the Custody Soulbinder. Gosh dang it. We can do better than that. Come on. There we go. The Custody Soulbinder can get really ridiculously huge because the whole object is to just have a shit ton of tokens. I mean, go wide with tokens, live the dream. There are a few cards I am playing because, let's face it, we are playing white. Brave the Elements is a counterspell to Pyroclasm. It's just all it is. Armored Ascension. Armored Ascension plus Oketra is, you know, it's almost not fair. Mass Calcify. I was really looking for that Convoke destroyed non-token creature one, but Hour of Reckoning. But apparently they're all in use. Next one I get, this is a deck it's going in. Hope Against Hope. +1/+1 for each creature you control. That's kind of neat. Anointed Procession. I love that white got this. This was one of the cards I was most excited about in a Monkette. Wrath of God, Dust to Dawn. Now, Concerted Effort, I'm also running the Odric because, you know, it's nice to share abilities. And Throne of the God Pharaoh. Now, Throne of the God Pharaoh is really good when you've got a lot of aggro or you're attacking with a lot of small creatures, because the more small creatures you have, the better. Now, it also works really well for like the Convoke stuff. Like Seraph of the Masses there. Power and toughness equal number of your dudes. She flies, and you can tap your dudes to cast her if you've got enough. And you should have enough. Here are the rest of the token makers. Obviously, the Secure the Waste is a beautiful card. Instant speed. That's what really sets this card over the top. The ability to, in response, crap out a bunch of blockers. Gideon's Phalanx. 7 mana. Now, keep in mind, with all the pump that we have in this deck, all of these tokens are not going to be face value. They're going to be bigger, which that's about the only thing that makes me actually want to play with Gideon's Phalanx. CP loves. Now, I'm going to need a crazy amount of tokens for this deck. It's like 17 different kinds of tokens. It's crazy. Triplicate Spirits is a regular version of 3 Dudes Seriously. Nomad's Assembly for each creature you control, and it has Rebound. I mean, this was good back then, but it's great in this particular deck. Requiem Angel, non-spirits. So when all your soldier tokens or warrior tokens die, you get spirit tokens. So your tokens just upgrade to flying. Seems decent. Benevolent Offering. I kind of like these commander cards that, you know, you and an opponent, especially for like the Kingdoms variant. I keep referring to the Kingdoms variant. I need to do a thing on it because a lot of people don't know what the Kingdoms variant is. But to gain 2 life for each creature you control, that can be just swingy with as many tokens as we are generating. Now, I had to put anything in the Amonkhet set that specifically named Oketra, I felt like had to be in here. And then I read Oketra's Monument, and I was like, holy crap, yes, this does have to be in there. cast a creature, get a warrior. So her drawback is just, I mean, we've just made it the best possible. It's so good. Landfall, get a bird. Drogskull Cavalry. I need to... Here again, that works with the other card that gives you spirits. Sacred Mesa. It costs you, essentially it has an upkeep of 2 mana. This is the only source of Pegasus you have in the deck. Miss Elspeth, I'm telling you, she's got to come back as a zombie planeswalker. That would be just amazing. And then Alliance at Arms. Now, I realize y'all know that I bought the entire Commander set in whatever this language is. But what Alliance at Arms is, it's 1 mana. Starting with you, all players may pay any amount of mana. And then everybody gets 1/1 soldiers equal the total amount of mana paid. You'd be surprised how many people, because everybody gets the same number, how many people will do this. Now, the rest of what I've got is pretty much just utility. Playing with the Soul Sisters, simply because you're putting a crazy amount of tokens into play. Why not? Knight of the White Orchid is just a good classic card, as is the Oblivion Ring. Now, Odric, we talked about Odric. This guy is just... Now, it includes Indestructible, and because your general has Indestructible and Double Strike, those are 2 of the abilities that he can share. And with him on the table, all your tokens become awesome. Now, the Anointer Priest, I'm going to call the 3rd Soul Sister for this deck, because that's just about what it does. Had to run the Oketra cards. Now, Quarry Colossus. Quarry Colossus is amazing on anything except, of course, targeting their general. They can just, anytime the zone change. But I love the Quarry Colossus. This is another card that would be really good with Blade of Selfies. The number of planes you control by the time that you're casting this guy, it's going to be late game. You're just going to bury a creature. There are a lot of those annoying indestructible creatures, the creatures that can't take damage. As long as it doesn't have like Shroud or Hexproof, I'm going to bury it. And then my last card here is a card I don't think gets enough love. Hand of Justice from Fallen Empires. Yes, believe it or not, this is on the reserve list. So they will not reprint any more Hand of Justices, although I don't really hear a big clamoring for Hand of Justice reprints. It's not like they're expensive. Anyway. Tap 3 dudes to destroy a creature. It just almost doesn't feel like it's white anymore. Now, granted, this was a long, long time ago, and great Melissa Benson art for the time. A repeatable creature kill in white. I love it. That is what I have got for Miss Oketra. I say Miss. I guess that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I don't know. I haven't. I'm not sure if gods have genders. I don't know. Anyway, I do appreciate you watching. Y'all let me know what you think. I'm going to continue on with the rest of Amonkhet until I get through them. I think I've got all of the legendaries for it. So thank you very much for watching. And right now, it is time to shuffle and cut.